everybody, welcome to part 66 of Let's Play Pokemon White. So at the very end of part 65, I mentioned that before I go challenge the Pokemon League, I want to check out the storm that's on Route 7. So I just gathered a special team together for this purpose, since I pretty much know what's going to happen, only since I've played this game before. And I flew to Mesprit City, and as you notice right now, it's raining. Although that's pretty much no surprise, because it rains quite frequently in Mesprit City normally, so I should really be not surprised by that at all. But let's go out to Route 7, just because Mesprit City is like the closest town to Route 7. Yes, here is Route 7 up here, and it is clear. Oh! It's not clear. The sky is darkening, and oh my gosh, there's thunder! Thunder and very heavy rain! Oh my gosh, what a storm! There is that lady at Route 3, and Mr. Cat was right, there is in fact a huge storm over here! But anyway, one of these houses will actually explain what's happening on this route here, but I think it's the second house that explains it, not the first one. I think the first one was like this thing. Actually, I think it was the second one that was a good spot. Yeah, here's a lady coming up to talk to us right now.
Oh my, that Pokemon is coming in too.
What do you mean? What Pokemon? There's a Pokemon that's causing a storm? Well, I guess that makes sense. So much of the ridiculous Pokedex entries I've seen says that a Pokemon is able to cause lightning storms and whatnot. I think.
Now, Child, don't you go heading into the cold grass out here? That Pokemon might be too much for you. All such cold standing around talking in this wind and rain. It's not much, but sometimes stay my home a spell.
A spell? As in the deathly ones that Fiendfire could use? Is that what you mean by spell? Okay, I'm kidding. I am really kidding. What does this old lady have to say now that we're all inside and safe and sound and warm and toasty and all?
Even a young'un like yourself will catch cold if you get soaked by that cold rain. Sit right down and have some soup, why don't you?
Oh, sure.
That's nice. A young'un like you shouldn't be shy.
What kind of soup is it? Is it like a vegetable soup or butternut squash soup better yet? I love butternut squash soup. That is like my favorite soup ever. Especially in the wintertime when it's so cold outside. Hope it's butternut squash soup.
In the Unova region, you see, there is a Pokemon called Thunderous that creates thunderstorms. It flies around the region and sends loose wild winds and crashing lightning.
You mean kind of like Zapdos, right?
Have some soup now, dear. It'll warm you up. Butternut squash soup, my favorite. Yay!
Oh, a soup jam-packed with healthy vegetables. Well, butternut squash is a healthy vegetable, is it not? I think it is. It is a vegetable. Actually, it's technically a fruit, because squashes are technically fruits, but whatever, I like vegetable soup too.
The heavy rain is ruining the crops I've worked so hard to raise. What a troublesome Pokemon. I thought I would try to catch it, but one flies around so fast that even when I thought I found it, it just flew away. And one day, it could make a lap around the entire Unova region.
Wow, that Pokemon is fast then. But I guess if it's a legendary Pokemon, I think that Pokemon that the lady's talking about is a legendary Pokemon, so it would be able to fly around the entire Unova region in one day. That makes sense, right?
In the mornings, it's in the south, and in the evenings, it's in the north.
And since it is morning right now, it'll be in the southern region of Unova.
It shows up here in the evenings.
Okay, I guess that's good to know. Or is she gonna say anything else about Thunderous? Yeah, so the legendary Pokemon that lady is talking about is Thunderous. Thunderous is this Pokemon that looks a lot like a genie, as you will see, and it is electric and flying type Pokemon, making it the Zapdos of Unova, pretty much. But apparently we're now on a quest to... What? Happened? What? Oh my gosh, it's Thunderous! Are we gonna have to battle it, like, right here and now? Oh my gosh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Dramatic. Thunderbolt. Whew, what a storm. Apparently it's that Pokemon's doing. And it's just flying away. See, what did I tell you? It does look like a genie. It looks exactly like almost very much like a more masculinized genie, version of the genie from Aladdin, don't you think? With his blue skin and all, and the fact that it just floats around and all. When I actually, on my last playthrough of Pokemon White, I actually named that Pokemon Genie when I caught it, and I probably am going to name it Genie again when I capture Thunderous this time. But Thunderous is one of the other wandering legendary Pokemon, just like Raikou and Entei and Suicune in Gold, and also Mesprit in Diamond and Pearl, which I provided a tutorial on how to catch. Now, I did provide a tutorial on catching Mesprit, and I'm going to pretty much employ that exact same method that I used to capture Mesprit in catching Thunderous. The thing about Thunderous is that it'll only appear in areas where there's a huge thunderstorm. Right now there's rain, but not a thunderstorm like the one we saw earlier. So seeing that thunderstorm is fortunately a surefire sign that Thunderous is in the area somewhere, and it is level 40, so it's usually, and I think it hides out in the tall grass, just like the previous roaming legendary Pokemon did, so I think the best thing to do is to have a Pokemon that's just below level 40, go up and interact with Thunderous, and then use a repel and go into the wild grass, and I have a couple of Pokemon with me who are just below level 30, and the Pokemon I have first in my party right now, in fact, is Electra. And that lady said that Thunderous is in the southern region of Unova, right? So I'm gonna have Cygnus fly to somebody in the southern region of Unova. I'm gonna fly to, I don't know, Nimbasa City. I don't know where else to fly to. Thunderous will probably not appear there, but I don't know. I guess it's always worth a shot. I know sometimes the bulletin boards will alert you if there's ever stormy weather somewhere, and I gotta get around on my bicycle because I know that'll be faster. But Thunderous is a lot harder to search for because you don't have something like a marking map in this region, which is not good. Yeah, I'm not seeing Thunderous here at all. So apparently it's not on Route 5. Let's check Route 16, I guess. I think every time you go into a new area, Thunderous will enter a new location, so I'm gonna hope that it'll enter Route 16. I don't know if it will or not. No, I don't see anything here either. Does this bulletin board have anything to say? Route 4, a very unusual thunderstorm. Well, the thunderstorm is now on Route 4, but it is definitely going to move by the time I get to Route 4. I'm betting. Unless it's like in the previous games where, let's see if the thunderstorm is still around. Yeah, it still says that the thunderstorm is in Route 4. Let's see if it is in Route 4. What? I don't see a thunderstorm on Route 4. That bulletin board is lying. Yeah, see, what did I tell you? Every time you enter a new area, the thunderstorm changes. Let's actually see if it's by the Relic Castle by any chance. I gotta check that really quick. Maybe it moved there. Well, it's not on the Desert Resort. Let's go back on Route 4. Yeah, this might take a little bit of searching, so what I'm probably going to do is just pause the video and then I'll maybe start it up again and maybe show up like a sped-up chase like I did in my Mesprit tutorial and see if I can find Thunderous that way. Here we have an area where there is a storm, so I gotta get off my bike, and I'm pretty sure that Thunderous will appear in one of these grassy areas, so I gotta see if I have any more repels. Hopefully like a regular repel. Yeah, I have one repel left. Yeah. Well, I think that should be good enough, so that if I encounter any Pokemon in here, then they'll be... Okay, here's Thunderous right here. This is what Thunderous is like. So the first thing I'm going to do to Thunderous, what did I tell you? It is level 40. Now, Thunderous is one of those few Pokemon who actually have a gender. Thunderous could only be male. Not female, just male, because it looks all masculine and all. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paralyze Thunderous with Thunder Wave. And Electra actually went before Thunderous, that is good. And this will not only slow Thunderous down, but also give it a status problem, which will make it hard to catch. See, it'll flee right at the beginning of the battle, which is what I kind of expected anyway, so now I'm going to have to fight it again. So I'm going to pause this yet again, chase Thunderous again. In order to find Thunderous, I basically had to do this like switcheroo type thing, and just kind of go back and forth between Nimbasa City and the surrounding routes. That's usually a good spot to look for Thunderous in the morning, so I'm going to do that again. And this time I won't include any sped-up chases, since you already know how I managed to find Thunderous in the first place anyway. So I'll just pause the video and resume the game when I find another stormy area. Alright, Route 16 is always the route that has the thunderstorm, eh? I just like playing that little switcheroo game with Thunderous. So I'm gonna use another repel. Where's my repels? Where are my repels? They're at the top of my bag. Why couldn't I see them? They were at the top of my bag. But anyway, the Pokemon that I have first in my party right now is Lassie, and I'm actually gonna save the game, because then I'm gonna have Lassie do is I gotta have her attack Thunderous and see if she can get some damage in. And I'm saving the game just in case I happen to KO Thunderous in the meantime, and I don't want that to happen, of course. I used the repel right, I think I did. Come on, Thunderous, where are you? There you are! Alright, now let's do some damage to you. Let's weaken you a bit so that I can catch you. The Thunderous is already paralyzed, that's good, because I know that all damage effects that a roaming legendary Pokemon has will still be there the next time we encounter it. So I'm gonna try using Strength and see what that does. And okay, that did a little less than half HP of damage, so I'm gonna have to do that to Thunderous again. And I'm not even gonna show it, just because I'm gonna just have Lassie do the same thing to Thunderous again. So I will do that one more time, and then I'll pause the video and I'll see you again when I'm about to initiate the next phase of my Thunderous catching plan. Okay, here we are again. I just found the Stormy area again, which is again on Route 16. But now the first Pokemon I have in my party is Chopper. Now here I really have to beware, because I can't use the Repel, because Chopper is at level 42, and that would prevent Thunderous from appearing. So instead I just have to hope that we don't get an ordinary wild Pokemon instead. And if we do, that probably will prevent Thunderous from appearing. So I just gotta wander around here and kind of hope that we get Thunderous appearing. No, this is just an ordinary Pokemon. Davius, you're preventing me from capturing Thunderous here. Although maybe if we're lucky, then Thunderous will still be in the same place after I encounter this Pokemon, but knowing me, it probably won't. So maybe I'll just pause the video and see you again if I actually encounter Thunderous. No, the Storm's still here. That's actually surprising. Let's see if we can actually encounter Thunderous. Maybe it's like after the second or third Pokemon that we encounter in the area. But this is obviously not it. This is Thunderous is disguising itself as a Trubbish, I guess. That's at least what it's seeming like right now, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just pause the video the next time I encounter Thunderous or something. That's what I think I'm going to do. Yeah, you can see the Storm's gone, but hey, at least we get an Autonote to fade. At least that's something, right? But anyway, I'm just going to pause the video again, and I'll just see you the next time I encounter Thunderous, whatever that is. Okay, here we are again. I just got Thunderous to appear again, this time on Route 5. Now, Thunderous is now at low HP and paralyzed. I just had Lassie use Strength again on it a second time. But now what I gotta do is I gotta have Chopper use False Swipe to bring Thunderous's HP down to 1. That'll maximize the chance of catching it. So let's have Chopper use False Swipe, and Chopper is of course faster because Thunderous is fully paralyzed. So now Thunderous is at 1 HP and fully paralyzed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find Thunderous again, and this time, as soon as I encounter it, I will use a Quick Ball, and I'm going to save the game before each of those encounters. So when I find Thunderous again, I'm gonna save the game, then use a Repel, walk into the grass with either Lassie or Electra, throw a Quick Ball, and hopefully that'll capture it. If that fails, I'll just restart the game and try again. So this might take a few tries. When I tried to catch Mesprit in Platinum, it took 7 tries. I don't know how many tries it'll take with Thunderous. There's an Autonote, but I'm not going to bother with it, because I won't give out much experience when my Pokemon are at high levels like this. So I'll just see you later when I find Thunderous again, or something like that. I don't know what'll happen. eventually, what was that, like the 5th attempt? I think it was the 5th attempt that I caught it. Wow, I'm just getting really lucky with encountering these legendary Pokemon on just a few Pokeballs. I remember it took me 7 tries to catch Mesprit, but it only took me 5 tries to catch Thunderous. That's kind of surprising, actually. But I think I gotta give Thunderous the same nickname that I gave it on my last playthrough. So this Thunderous will just be named Genie. Just because Thunderous looks a lot like a genie. But let's go back to the PC really quick and see what this Thunderous I just caught is like. That's kind of what I feel like doing, and after this I'm probably gonna have to stop the video. I know there's a little bit of Thunderous chasing I could probably cut out, and my repel wore off, but that's not even gonna matter at this point because I already caught Thunderous. Even though that was my last repel, I still have a lot of max repels though, so let's check out Thunderous. Okay, here it is, and it has a serious ability. That's kind of interesting. And he also has the Prankster ability, which is the same ability that Fluffy has. And his attacks are Revenge, Shockwave, Heal Block, and Agility. He doesn't know that many good attacks right now, but I think he will learn a few more good attacks later on via level up. And his attack and special attack are almost the same, which is kind of surprising because I thought that Thunderous usually had way higher special attack than attack. But this is good, actually, because he's electric and flying type, and one attack that he can learn via HM is Fly. So I could probably just teach him Fly and not have to worry about him having lackluster attack, which is kind of good. So right now, I'm probably just going to start training for the Victory Road. There is this one item that I missed in Victory Road, though, so I'm going to try to find it, maybe either later in this video or just after it. Actually, I'll probably try to find it now, because I could just teach Thunderous Fly, or I also have Sickness in my party who also knows Fly, and I'll just have him fly to Victory Road. So I'll meet you back up in Victory Road, where I'll find this item that I missed. Okay, so the item that I missed is actually down here. I think the last time I slid down the slope, I slid off to the left of that ranger, so now we're going to try sliding off to the right of the ranger. And whee! This is a very long slope! And we have an item over here, but I don't think this is it. Yeah, this is just a nugget. Oh well, nuggets are always nice things to have, right? But anyway, before I go in this cave, I'm going to use another repel. I'm going to use one of my max repels, actually. I have 5 of those, so I have plenty of time to spare here. And I'm going to put my Dowsing Bitchin out, just in case we find any hidden items in this chamber. So this is a chamber we haven't been in before. There's a hidden item, I think, in the wall somewhere, or maybe that's some other place, or whatever, so I don't think that's going to be important just yet. Okay, there's no other items over here, but I think there's an item over here, actually. Yeah, there's a Max Revive in here, which is good. We could always use more Max Revives. And there's another item down here, which is a Max Potion. That's another good item that we can use against the Elite, that we can use during the Elite Four battles and whatnot. Especially in the battle against the champion, because this region has a pretty difficult champion. But anyway, the item that I wanted to find is right here, and this is a TM for Dragon Claw! That is going to be really useful, because there are a couple of Pokemon I want to teach Dragon Claw to. I think Iago is one of them, and there's another Pokemon that I want to teach Dragon Claw as well, that I'll show you later on. But that is all we have time for in this episode, so stay tuned, everybody, for part 67 of Let's Play Pokemon White. Right now, I'm going to train my Pokemon and put a team together and get everybody to level 50. And actually, one thing I recently found out is that I can have a different team for the Elite Four and for the Champion. So I'm going to put together an Elite Four team and I'm going to put together a Champion team, and I'm going to use both. That way I can use as many of my Pokemon as possible during these battles. So, well, decide on a team, and I'll see you later, and in part 67, we will finally challenge the Elite Four. So get ready for some fierce battle action coming up.